call the meeting to order. Good morning and welcome to the June 29th, 2023 special called business meeting of the Ashland City Council. We will start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge and honor the Aboriginal people on whose ancestral homelands we work, the Ikaruksim Band of the Shasta Nation, as well as the diverse and vibrant Native communities who make their home here today. We honor the first stewards in the Rogue Valley and the lands we love and depend on. Tribes with ancestral lands in and surrounding the geography of the Ashland watershed include the original past, present, and future indigenous inhabitants of the Shasta, Takelma, and Athabascan people. We also recognize and acknowledge the Shasta village of Kokaka, where the crow lights, that is now the Ashland City Plaza. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please, Dana.
Mayor Graham.
Here.
Councilor Hyatt.
Here.
Bloom.
Here.
Dale.
Here.
Kaplan.
Here.
DeCane.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Thank you. We have one item on our agenda today, so I will pass this over to Joe to get us started with Resolution 2023-20, 2021-2023 Biennial Budget Supplemental Resolution.
Good morning, Council. It seems a little unusual to say that, have a council meeting. Thank you for all attending this morning. I know this was unusual for us to have a meeting at this time of day and actually this week of the month, but we have a final piece of work that we need to accomplish before the end of the fiscal year. Marianne is going to walk us through it, and Mike's here to answer questions on it. It relates to our equipment fund. When we were going through the May books, we realized that we needed an appropriation action from the council to make it legal before the end of the fiscal year. And with that, I'll turn it over for the full discussion.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. So basically, we are here today to request a budget transfer, and it's within the equipment fund, and it's between the two lines of acquisitions and purchasing and moving it over to repair and maintenance. It's $300,000. It's just to ensure that we do not incur a budget violation by the end of the year. And I'm going to flip it over to Mike to discuss the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, so our shop costs have gone up considerably because vehicle replacement has been much harder to do the last couple of years. Vehicles that we would typically get in 3 to 6 months are taking a year, sometimes 2 years. We've had a bunch of vehicles that we ordered, and then 6 months later they just tell us, well, we can't even get those to you, so we have to go through the process again. So we've been forced to keep vehicles longer than we otherwise should. So keeping those vehicles on the road takes extra maintenance and repairs. So we're saving some money on the equipment purchases, but it's really just costing us more money in maintenance. So you probably also noticed in the budget process that our equipment acquisition line went up considerably this upcoming biennium. That's because we have to carry so much funds forward from this current biennium into the next biennium to actually make the purchases that have been delayed or that we're having to rebid. So happy to answer any questions if that didn't make sense.
Councilors, you have your packet materials. Are there any additional questions for staff? Councilor Hyatt.
Thank you, Mayor. Mike, Marianne, crazy question for you. Given the fact that these lead times are likely not to change anytime soon and the need for additional maintenance is what it is, do we have any way to do periodic reconciliation that would show us when these types of transfers need to occur because of the environment in which we're currently working? Or is it just a case of as orders get canceled or as orders get extended out that we just need to recalibrate?
We just need to keep a very close eye on it. Things have changed a lot in the last couple of years. The shop has always been, we kind of ran right up against the edge of using up what's budgeted. With the recent changes in just the way of supply chains and all the excuses everybody gives us, it was just a tough year for shop maintenance. We just need to keep a real close eye on it so that we're not coming to you last minute. And we've already talked about that internally, how to make that happen.
You guys are all over it. Thank you.
Councilor DeCane.
Thank you. Thanks, Mayor. Actually, you answered my first question just through you talking, so I appreciate it. I was thinking, do all line items have to come to council? Because I thought it had to come to council if it was between funds.
Thanks for that question. This is in particular a line item, two line items that were appropriated in the 21-23 budget under that resolution. So in this case, it did need to come to council, but not every line item needs to come to council. This just happened to be appropriated as such because it's between a capital outlay, and operations, essentially.
Okay. Yes, it seems pretty innocuous to me.
Councillor Kaplan.
Yeah, thank you. And just a follow-on question there. Is that the best practice because it's two lines, one's the operations and one is capital, that we would differentiate it rather than just melding it all into the same fund?
For
Fund line.
fund accounting and budget reporting, it is typical that there is a personnel, M&S, and capital outlays. So those three line items are differentiated.
Good. Yeah, thank you.
All right, the floor is open for a motion. Councillor Kaplan.
I move to adopt Resolution 2023-20, authorizing a 2021 to 2023 biennial supplemental budget transfer of $300,000 from the equipment fund's appropriated purchasing and acquisition line item to its maintenance and repair line item.
Second. Councillor Kaplan, would you like to speak to your motion?
No, I think it's just housekeeping. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention in time to get it done before the end of the fiscal year.
Councillor Hyatt.
Likewise, thank you for the diligence, for noticing it, for bringing it with enough time to action, and for your help in answering questions.
Thank you.
Other comments? Roll call, please, Dana.
Councilor DeKane,
Yes.
Hyatt,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Bloom,
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Thank you. And thank you, councilors, for making the time to come forward and have this special meeting. We're happy to help staff as we close out the fiscal year, make sure that everything is in order. There's no other agenda item, and so the floor is open for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.